Men, good morning. Here we are together having another time together with our men's ministry. I was so hopeful that we could be with each other, but we're still doing this videotaping, but it'll be okay. We need to do a lot of praying, guys. We have a lot of people in our fellowship that are very sick, and I ask you to be praying for those that are sick in our fellowship. And I'm asking every man that listens to this today, if you think of somebody that attends on Friday morning with us, and you haven't seen them for a while, give them a phone call. Give them a phone call. Take some time and reach out and just love someone. I've always mentioned to you guys, people are looking towards us for leadership, how we're handling ourselves. So I just ask you to show leadership, reach out to those people that are by themselves, and just let them know you're thinking about them. You know, this morning's a special time in my eyes. There's two young ladies that I shouldn't say this, but I just adore them both. I've known them so long, and they're very special. We've made some great trips together in the past, some just to Mexico. About 18 years ago, a trip to Ethiopia, which was just one of those trips was over the top. We'll never forget that trip. They love to travel, and they love to reach out to people and just love them. Not just here in the United States, but people living in foreign countries. So they're in town, and I thought today it might be good to hear from Sonia and Lisa. Just let them share. They'll share just a little bit about their love for travel and meeting people of different dialects and different. They just like to meet people. They like to meet people, and of course, having the Spirit of Jesus Christ in them, they want to love people, not just people in the United States, but people in other countries. So I'm going to let you just listen to them. It's a joy to me that they're here and they can spend some time with us, and you can get to meet them yourself. God bless you guys. Take care of yourself. Look forward to seeing you in person very, very soon. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Sonia.
And we both serve in an East Asian country, and I've been there for a little over 4 years. And Sonia's been there I've been there, over 6 years, and Sonia's been there a little over 4 years. And we work with women who have been trafficked. And it's quite an amazing work that we do serving these women. These women have come from many different backgrounds, and they come to a vocational center where we work. And they are taught English, they're taught their native language, they're taught discipleship, healthy lifestyle, which is kind of fun really because they've never exercised before. So that's getting them in exercise clothes and doing jumping jacks is pretty fun to watch. So it's just kind of a very rounded kind of work that we do for them and with them. And we also work with the women and children in the slum areas. So many of them come to our center every Tuesday where we have a meeting and we get together and we do a lot of singing and we also share. And it's just a really great time. Sonia is one of our instructors, and she teaches English and discipleship. You want to share something about that?
Sure. So I have the opportunity to teach the women English, and if you can imagine, they have no sort of English at all. So just teaching them just the very basics, ABC, and teaching them how to write. The challenge is to teach them how to even hold a pencil. A lot of the women that have been trafficked have been pulled out of their life, and they didn't have the chance to go to school. So we get the opportunity to teach them just the basics of just how to write. And so we have a teacher that teaches their local language, and so she also works with them in teaching them how to write. But I have the opportunity to do the English and learning them the ABCs, and so we have a lot of fun in doing that. So
One of the things that we got to was really encouraging this year is actually was, I guess, the end of last year, we celebrated Christmas, and it was the first time we were able to give the 7 participants that are actually going through our program Bibles where they could actually read them. So before, when they came to our center, they couldn't read, they couldn't hold a pencil, they couldn't do any of that. And now they're at a level of able to read. And so now they can read the Word of God, which is amazing. And they're so excited to read. And, so we'll share from the Word, and then we'll say, can you read a passage? And they're just so excited to read that passage. And they stand up, with their Bible, and they'll read it. And it's just a really neat thing, because, to know everything that they've gone through, and to see how hard they worked, and to see with every step they're getting a little bit more and more confidence. And the hope and the goal eventually is obviously that they come to know Jesus. In addition to that, practical helps for them to actually get out of the red light area and to actually have a job that's a sustainable job where they can work and provide for their families in a safe way. So we're really excited to see this big step of them being able to read. Now, Sonia has a great story about one of the women in discipleship.
Yeah, so I get to teach discipleship with the ladies, and so it's really a lot of fun. Now that they can be able to read, they get to, for themselves, read the Word of God. So one of their assignments was to go home and read Psalm 1. And we were teaching them how to have a quiet time. So I taught them, you open up the Word of God, you read it, and then write the Word of God and write it, and then pray and ask God to speak to you. And so I gave the assignment to all of them. Then they came back the next day, and one of the participants, it was so cool. She had ear-to-ear smiles, and she was just so excited. God spoke to her about how to walk, how not to hang out with sinners, how to not sit with scoffers. And it was just the coolest thing. She was so excited that God spoke to her. And it was so, such a precious moment to be able to see her in her growth with the Lord, and the Lord speaking to her being able to read, which was a new skill in itself. Now she's learning about having a quiet time in the Lord, speaking to her on a personal basis. How awesome is that? We all want to hear from the Lord, and when we hear from the Lord on our one-on-one time, it's so much more precious. So for her to be able to do that, it was just so great.
Yeah.
That was a sweet story.
The other thing that we do, we do help the women who have children, and we help with getting them into school. And so the statistic is that 90% of all children born in a brothel will stay in a brothel. So part of breaking that cycle is not only getting the women out, because obviously that's what we want, but we want their children never to experience anything what they experience. So while the women are going to our vocational training center, we are putting their kids in school, and they're learning school, and so that in itself. So it was just the neatest time when one of the new participants started school with us, her first time ever in school. So for her, 30 years of never having school was her first day at our center. It was also her 7-year-old daughter's first day of school too, and it was a crazy excitement. They were so blown away that they would have the opportunity to learn. So we're just so thankful that we have the opportunity to work with these women and these children, to work in the country that we do, and we just ask that that you guys would think about the women in East Asia, pray about them, and pray that the Lord would really reach into their hearts and really heal the hurts. They have so many, that we can't touch those, but God can, and God knows. And so we just ask that you would consider praying for them, and just praying for Sonia and I, and the work that we're doing over there.